Police stop a man who seems to be his deceased son. Sees what's on the dashboard in a few seconds, red and blue. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Nothing will make you feel more afraid than when you see the distinctive blue and red flashing lights of a police cruiser approaching you. Your thoughts are racing with all the purposes it could serve. Had you been driving too fast? Was there maybe a taillight out? You force a grin, the most innocent of all, and get ready to speak. It's unlikely that you will be able to leave without a ticket once you've pulled over to the side of the road. However, this was not at all the case with William Jasinski. He was a military veteran who was driving down the road going about his business when all of a sudden he was stopped for no apparent reason. William attended Arlington High School after attending Somers, New York as a child. He had an ambition of becoming a sergeant and serving his nation since he was a little lad. When he was just 10 years old, he declared his intention to enlist in the U.S. Army. His mother was understandably worried, and rightfully so. In 2003, William had the opportunity to live out his goals amid the turmoil in Iraq. He was one among the 177,394 soldiers dispatched to the combat zone. He packed for the worst, leaving behind his family, fiancé, and life as he knew it. In the hopes that he wouldn't be among the 4,000 people who never returned home, his family waited for him. William was fortunate enough to be sent home after just a year of duty, but he came back a different person. His life could never return to normal because of the impact of what he had witnessed during the war. His family persuaded him to go to counseling, and initially it appeared to be beneficial. However, William was unable to dispel the darkness that seems to follow him everywhere. That is, until he received the necessary shock from an odd meeting on a desolate road. Following his final dull therapy session, William started the lengthy journey back to his La Force, Texas home. He let his thoughts wander and placed his body on autopilot while keeping his eyes fixed on the white line. His wife and his daughter at home were on his mind. He didn't want to consider what might have happened if it weren't for them. It dawned on him then that the automobile in the rear had been pursuing him for some time. His gaze shot to the speedometer, and he exhaled a breath of relief to see that he wasn't inadvertently over the limit. He had made sure his lights were operational the day before, so there was no need for the cops to pursue him. Maybe he was simply being too cautious, he told himself. To be sure, though, a small voice in his head prodded him on. William signaled at the last possible moment, seeing his opportunity. He shifted into gear swiftly and veered off into a calmer route, paying close attention to the policeman in his rearview mirror. As expected, the vehicle reappeared over the hill. He was aware of his pursuers. He knew that the warning siren he had been waiting for would sound at any moment. However, what transpired further unsettled him. As William waited for the siren that never arrived, his nerves were fraying and he was beginning to fear. He understood from his years of military training that anticipation always causes less anxiety than waiting. After 5 minutes, nothing had changed. There was nothing except him on an empty road, the police car silently following him, and no speaker or sirens. He was almost relieved to see the flash of blue. That was the indication that the officer wanted him to stop, and he did. After that, he would go through the routine of presenting his license, engaging in small talk, and then leaving. At least that was his belief. William did not realize that this weird meeting was going to get even stranger when he slowed down and pulled upon the edge. When William rolled down his window to ask the police outside what appeared to be the problem, his day started to go a bit strange. William saw that the officer's gaze had shifted to his car's dashboard, landing on something they both treasured. After he said that he was not in any difficulty at all and had not broken any laws, William had worked for the U.S. Army operating heavy-wheeled vehicles. He was in Iraq as well. He therefore had no idea what would happen next when he noticed that the policeman was examining the American flag he had put there as a memento. The cop only wanted to say thank you at first, but it developed into much more than that. The officer eventually shared with the combat veteran why he was so appreciative of him after their customary small talk. He started by inquiring about William's time there, and gradually the account that the unidentified officer related to him had a close relationship with all of William's experiences. William will find out everything soon. 2 emblems from his military service are conspicuously displayed on the veteran's vehicle. The American flag, which drew the officer's attention, appears on one bumper sticker, an Army sticker. He knew who was behind the wheel of the automobile thanks to the sticker. He could not see who was inside till then. What shocked him was who he saw. He could hardly take it any longer. William briefly updated the officer on his travels, saying, "I visited Iraq. I served out of Fort Benning for 15 months." And that's when it all came out. The officer then revealed to William some information that has troubled him ever since, and seeing William merely reopened old wounds. "My kid traveled to Iraq. He failed to return home." William offered his sympathies and assistance, having witnessed the suffering personally and knowing how it felt. "I'm devastated to learn about it. I recently completed a PTSD treatment." Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short, is a frequent condition among men and women in the armed forces. The officer said, "I see you have a flag in the truck. The one we got for him. It's in the house." Suddenly, the officer asked him a question that William was unable to reject, or rather, a favor. "Can I ask you a question? Could I come over here and give you a hug? You make me think of my kid. You resemble him precisely. The reason I stopped you was that you resembled him so much. I mistook you for my son." With tears in his eyes, the cop remarked, "Most days I still don't think he's gone." William gave the cop a hug then? You had better trust it. Nor was it just any old embrace based on his Facebook post. We were both crying as I went outside and gave that man a hug. I'm talking about sobbing till we're on our knees for a minute or two. That's what I needed, William wrote. At that point, both guys appeared to let go of some pain with an unknown person. William experienced the release of something he had been clinging to for a very long time. William felt as though the policeman's embrace had erased his pain and anxieties. Both men stood on that deserted road, sobbing and hugging, and he could practically feel it rise up into the ether and then dissipate. It was just the relief he had been waiting for. More than any therapy session could have done, his PTSD had been cured by that sincere human connection with a complete stranger. He was eager to tell his wife and daughter everything when he got home. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.